Hello, everyone, and welcome to Schwab Coaching. My name is Cameron May. I'm a senior manager and education coach here at Schwab, and this is Getting Started with Thinkorswim. And as we move along our trading career path, traders really become very good at inventing new strategies or encountering new ones and coming up with new ways to look at charts. But natural question, when we encountered a new strategy or new technique, does it even work? How has it worked in the past? Well, today we're going to be looking at a tool, powerful tool that's found right there on Thinkorswim on the desktop platform. It's called On Demand. We're going to be using it to backtest trading strategies. Should be a really good discussion. Before we can get into that, though, let me first of all say hello out there in YouTube. Hi there, Will and Chris, Eva, Tony, Life in the Fast Lane, David, Chuck, everybody else. Thanks for joining us week after week. We always really do appreciate your attendance and your contributions. If you're here for the very first time, I want to welcome you as well. And if you're watching on the YouTube archive after the fact, enjoy the presentation. Be aware that you're invited to join us in a live webcast. This one kicks off at 3 o'clock Eastern time on Mondays. We'd love to have you here. And I also want to let you know that my very good friend Scott Thompson is joining the live stream audience here in the chats. Scott's going to be addressing any questions that I can't get to. Thanks for being there, Scott. And I'd also like to issue an invitation to you. If you're not following me on X, please do. It's the best place to connect with me, best place to find out about my weekend or see what I have to think about the markets as they develop in between these live streams. But you can find me on X at Cameron May CS. But let's go right into this. And as we do, let me throw this question out there to you. How many of you are familiar with that on-demand tool that's available only on the live Thinkorswim desktop platform? We'll be showing it there on the live platform, not available on Paper Money because it carries its own Paper Money feature. Interesting. But yeah, let me know, yes or no. Have you used that on-demand feature before? In any case, the disclosures, you need to bear in mind that risk is real. We need to make note of the risks associated with trading. The information here is for general informational purposes only and should not be considered an individualized recommendation or endorsement of any particular security, chart pattern, or investment strategy. Options carry a high level of risk and not suitable for all investors. Schwab does not recommend the use of technical analysis as a sole means of investment research. And investing involves risks, including loss of principal. All right. So let's get to today's topic. It is using that on-demand feature on Thinkorswim. It's also commonly known as Think on Demand, but you'll see it as a button on Thinkorswim. But it's used to backtest strategies. It's a very interesting tool. Actually allows us to reconstruct the environment from previous times and trade as though we're in those times. So I'm going to give us an introduction to on demand. Then we're going to create some historical trade strategies and concepts. We're going to enter them through that on-demand feature and then follow up on them, see how they do. Should be pretty interesting. Let's see. Bob says, yes, you're familiar with it. Eva, yes, love on-demand. Well, very good. Kevin says yes, but I would suspect we've got about 64 people watching the live stream right now, picking up people as we go. I would imagine this video is going to be seen by hundreds and potentially thousands. There are definitely going to be some that are not familiar with this feature. So once again, let me emphasize, as I go to the platform, this is the Thinkorswim desktop platform, only available on the live platform. There are a few features that are unique to the live platform. This is one of those. So if you go to your Paper Money and try to click on this, you're not going to find it. It'll be a little bit frustrating. But in any case, right up here is that on-demand feature. But I want to set the stage for how it might be used before we go to use it. When we go, Will, you're excited? Carlene, you haven't heard of this one yet? Yeah. So this tool on Thinkorswim actually allows the trader to pick some date in the past and then trade as though it were that date in the past. The tool actually retrieves tick-by-tick quote data and backdates all, well, not every single feature on the platform, but most of the features on the platform back to a selected date. And then you can just trade as though it's that date and then skip forward using the tool to see how a trade or a strategy progresses. So pretty interesting. Lely, not familiar? Let's get familiar. So I'm going to click on the on-demand feature. So I'm going to click on this. And as I do, first of all, we're going to get some information about the feature here, but you'll also notice up here it says pre-buffering. What that's doing is it takes a few seconds, but it's loading all that historical data into the platform for us to go use, okay? But in any case, let's read through this because there's important information contained here. You've just started Think on Demand, a powerful backtesting tool that lets you replay any trading day. It says here for the last several months. This has now been extended back to, I've explored this fairly deeply, about 14 years at this point that we can go back and test, okay? But it allows us to replay any trading day from the last 14-ish years and test your trading skills with simulated trades based on that data. So the capabilities include, you can run Think on Demand 24/7 at your convenience, even on nights and weekends. You can select a previous trading day in the upper left-hand corner, as well as fast forward. It's actually, you can find that up here in the upper right anyway, and pause the data or reset the virtual account, yeah, to an original $100,000 size. This is going to give access to $100,000 of play money. So very much like the paper money platform, this is preloaded with some test money. Okay, just fake. It's not. Sorry, I'm not giving the house away here. Yeah, just $100,000 of play money to go back in time and to trade with. Now you can watch the tick-by-tick price changes. You can simulate trading stocks and other things, options. You can watch the profit or loss of the simulated positions on the position statement as the trading day proceeds, or you can fast forward to another date. And you can click on the on-demand button again to go back to your real live trading account. Now, interestingly, when we go into this on-demand feature and we start to trade historical trades, if we shut that off and we go back to the live account, those historical trades are preserved in that simulated environment. So if we then go back to on-demand, the balances can be updated, or they will update according to the date selected, and the positions will still be retained within that account. Okay, I'll have an example of that. So let's click on OK. So here we are in the on-demand feature, and right here is where we can select, some time in the past. So I'm going to click on this, and it gives me a calendar, and it's going to be dated to a current-ish date. Not all the way to today. As of this recording, it's September 30th, but we're starting to look at historical dates here, and for my default right now, it's September 27th of 2024. But we can navigate through time using these two arrows to reconstruct Thinkorswim using the data from days in the past. The double-headed arrows will take us back 1 year at a time. The single arrow will take us back 1 month at a time, or forward a month or a year at a time. So let's go back a couple of years. Let's go back maybe to 2022. And let's go back to, let's say, March of 22. And I'm picking that for a very precise reason. But in any case, now we're gonna choose March 1st, and as I click go, you're gonna see that pre-buffering kick in here again. You're also gonna see this S&P 500 chart that I have here on my screen reset itself back to March of 2022. So let's click go. It'll take just a moment. There's pre-buffering, and now we've rolled back the clock. We're not looking at the market conditions as of September 30th of 2024 anymore. We're looking at the technical market conditions as of March 1st of 2022. Now, the first thing I want to point out here before we go, start building new trades is I chose March 1st for a reason, and that is I actually had an example trade that I previously placed in on-demand for Merck here. Now, also, let me open up this left column, and you'll notice there's $100,000 of play money. It's actually grown a little bit by about $14, and that's because of the performance of this Merck trade that I previously placed in ThinkPack. If I want to see those trade details, just like in my typical monitor page, and boy, by the way, the functions on Thinkorswim all essentially work just exactly the same, okay? So like if I wanted to see the trade details here, I could click on the quantity, just as if we're looking at the current day, but this tells me, hey, Cameron, you placed this trade February 22nd of 2022, whole string of twos, bought one call for $3.06. The market price of that is $3.20, so up 14 cents a share on one contract, up about $14. There we go. That explains why I'm not sitting at exactly $100,000. And I just wanted to let you know that there was this existing position, and the positions do remain in this example portfolio even when we shut off the on-demand by clicking on the on-demand feature up there. Here's another thing I want to point out. There was a time when I was using on-demand and the go back to live button was missing. So that has to do with this left column over here. Let me hide this column. As I hide that, you'll see it says on-demand. If I expand that column, I still have that on-demand button there. It's just smaller. Okay, now it's just an icon. But if I've expanded that column out far enough, there's no space to fit the button there anymore, and now you're stuck in the past. No, you're not. All you have to do is just shrink that back or just move it over to the left. All right? All right, you've tracked it down? Good. All right, very good. In any case, let's go have a look at the past right now and build a sort of an example trade in our minds conceptually, and we're going to go place a trade and we'll follow up on it and do all that fun stuff. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of the trader who's trying to learn about strategies, and maybe they're trying to learn about long puts. I already have a call in here. Let's learn about a long put. So here's the S&P 500 as of March 1st. Maybe our trader notes that the S&P appears to be making a downward trend, lower highs and lower lows. So possibly they're starting to think, oh, maybe this is a setup, at least a technical setup for conceptually a bearish trade entry. Well, what if we go do bearish trade? Let me bring up Microsoft. What was going on in Microsoft back on March 1st? Now notice, this is again still March 1st of 2022. These were the conditions for Microsoft. It appears to also be making lower highs and lower lows. That's pretty nifty because sometimes when we're back testing strategies just using a standard chart, and we've just scrolled back in the past, that's okay. That's a good way to test, but we can kind of cheat because we can see what happened right after this. This doesn't allow us to see. This ends as of March 1st. Okay, but let's say our trader thinks, well, it looks like a technical setup for a bearish option trade. Let's go buy a put on Microsoft. So let's go to our trade tab. You'll notice the option chain is dated 22, not 24. Okay, let's say we're going out to the 14th of April of 2022. Let's open up that option chain. And this is going to load with the quote data from that date. And it's going to update. You'll notice we kicked things off here at 9-ish local time. It was like 9, I can't remember exactly where it was, 9:47 or something like that. The clock is ticking, so these are updating in quote-unquote real time as of 10 o'clock in the morning, March 1st. Isn't that pretty nifty? That to me is just an amazing feature. Anyway, let's go to the put side. With the stock trading at 295, let's say our trader decides to buy an at-the-money put. So we click on the ask price, and that brings up a buy order. Let's say we just do one contract. So let's set this to just +1. And then I'm going to change this to a market order, saying, hey, we're willing to pay whatever the market price is as of this time at that date. Looks like it might be in the neighborhood of 13.25-ish. But anytime we submit a market order, even these historical ones, we don't know exactly what we're going to pay. Let's click confirm and send. Buying that one 295 the 14th of April 2022 put. Looks like this could cost us about $1,327.50. There's not an example dividend or a commission listed here. We need to be aware that commissions can certainly play a role with real trades on options, but let's send this order off and bought. Okay, we bought that put for $13.33. Now we can go monitor its progress by going to the monitor tab, and there's our new old Microsoft put. Purchased for $13.33. We had a spread between the bid price and the ask price, so it's probably some slippage right there. So right now we're underwater a little bit. Now, how can we move the clock forward? Because we can sit here and watch the monitor the progress of this trade, or we could come up here and we can advance this second by second, minute by minute. We could just type in a future time, like let's say we wanted to skip this forward to 11 o'clock. Go, right? How are we doing after an hour? So that's going to buffer for just a moment, load those quotes, and then it's going to give us the new mark. So that's kind of nifty. Or we could have done the same thing, advanced it a day or a month or a year. Yeah, looks like that wasn't a very cooperative hour. What if we were to move it ahead, I don't know, to the 9th of March? Let's click go. So this is reformatting the entire platform, gathering data, positioning new information all throughout thinkorswim for now 11 o'clock, March 9th. It only takes a few seconds. And then we can see how this does. So drum roll, please. All right, we purchased the put for 1333, now worth 1652, now being this time. So I think you're really starting to see the potential for experimenting with new strategies, well, with new strategies like options trades. And I think in particular, this can be beneficial for options traders. Now, Carlene, you say you can't find it. Do you mean on demand? The feature, make sure that you're on the live platform. This is not available on Paper Money, okay? But as we go to the charts, another feature that could be beneficial is looking to see if our technical assumptions play out as we anticipate. Look at this. So when we were looking at this on the, what was it, the first, that was right back. Let's put a little oval around this. Yes, you can draw lines and ovals and things like that on these historical charts. But we were looking at this when we were looking at March 1st, it was trading right here. And we thought, oh, maybe Microsoft will bump its head against this resistance line and head down. Now, for a couple of days, this trader wasn't exactly right. But we bumped our heads, and ultimately we did head down. So now Microsoft is trading here versus when we placed this trade 8 days ago, just a few moments ago. And we can see what's contributing to the performance of this position. So NOLA just asked the question. NOLA127DE said, can this be done for a regular stock? Well, yeah. It doesn't have to be just the options. Let's throw in a symbol here. I don't have any idea. I wonder what was Tesla doing? Actually, that's going to load for a minute. Let's go back to Microsoft just to save us the time of waiting for the buffering again while I'm doing this webcast. We only have a few minutes. But we could have just purchased Microsoft. Let's go to the monitor tab, not monitor tab, trade tab, and let's buy some shares of Microsoft. Now here we are on March 9th, so we bought the put on the 1st. Let's add some shares of Microsoft. So I'm going to click on the ask price. Yeah, 10 shares at $286-ish per share. It's going to be about a $2,800 trade. Let's make this a market order as well, and let's click confirm and send. Buying 100, whoops, it wasn't 10 shares. This is just a little bit compressed. So let's make it 10 shares. There we go. Click confirm and send, buying 10 shares of Microsoft at the market price. With market orders, prices can change quickly in fast market conditions, resulting in execution prices that can be different from the quotes displayed at order entry. Okay, yep, that's the way it works in real life. Let's send that order up. And we just bought 10 shares of Microsoft. And once again, we can monitor the progress of those shares and that put right here. Now we have obviously competing interests on our put versus our shares. Let's see which one wins this battle. Let's go here to March. Let's go out toward the end of March. So we're not at expiration yet for this put. Let's go to March 30th. Go. And who do you think is going to win? We saw what the trend of Microsoft was in the short term. Let's see if it maybe broke that trend and started heading higher, or if the put is winning and we continue to head lower. Yep, looks like it definitely reversed. Shares went up, put got stomped. Yeah, great simulator, isn't it? There, NOLA. Yeah, very good. And it extends into the other tools available on thinkorswim. So yes, you can use, for those of you who use the Analyze tool, maybe you want to go to a risk profile. This risk profile will now be dated back to March. So you can analyze positions, you can add simulated trades. Just choose your date up here for the date for your risk profile and proceed. So guys, pretty nifty tool. How do we shut it all off? How do we get back? Remember, if you've expanded that left column, you may not be able to see the get back button, okay? Make sure that we've shrunk this left column, then we can see the on-demand button and just shut the whole thing down. And now look at this, it says now real-time data. We're just connected to real markets. And if we go back here to Microsoft, I'm seeing recent drawings that I've drawn for 2024. We're back to real life again. But that is how to use on-demand, yes, sometimes called think on demand, but that back testing tool, powerful tool. Get in there and play around with it. If you haven't ever used it before, I think it carries a lot of potential for a really. Oh, Chris says you joined super late. Is it going to be repeated or available for replay? Yes, unless there's some technical glitch that prevents this session from being archived. That can happen. Hasn't happened to me in a long time. But yeah, the vast majority of our webcasts are archived to our YouTube channel. So to find that, make sure, I do have a couple of recommendations for you as we wrap things up. Number one, make sure that you're subscribed to our Trader Talks YouTube channel. So the full name of the channel is Trader Talks Schwab Coaching Webcasts, and you can subscribe just by clicking the subscribe button down below the display window right now. But it doesn't cost you anything. And this is the best place to find the playlists of our previous webcasts. You can also join the live streams right here. But the playlist, for example, if you wanted to go back and look at this series of Getting Started with Thinkorswim, just go to the playlist and scroll to the bottom. It happens to be the last one. So right down there, Getting Started with Thinkorswim, you can see the full playlist. And there is last week's webcast. Okay. So the other thing that I would definitely recommend is that you follow us on X. You can connect with me on X at Cameron May CS. It's the best place to find me in between these live streams. And I even provide things like, what I did for the weekend. So for example, I sort of knew, but I didn't really know that there is a seasonal salmon run in the state of Utah. There are actually 8 different lakes where the salmon go up local streams, creeks, and tributaries and rivers. So I went and watched the salmon this weekend. That was pretty cool. But you also get my updates on what I think is happening with the markets. Best place to connect with me in between these live streams. Also, just the best place to connect with any of your favorite presenters. All right, everybody, we have finished what I set out to do. There is a survey in the chat right now for the live stream attendees. So if you would do me the favor to click on that survey link now, it'll have it ready for you after we wrap things up. But it's a really short survey, 2 multiple choice questions, a comments box, a suggestion box. I just want to let you know that if you take the time to fill out that survey, I'll take the time to read through the data. I read your comments, and it's always helpful. So thanks for the honest feedback. Thanks for posting that again there for me, Scott. And thank you to how many people have given me the thumbs up so far. Out of 89, we got 27. That's pretty good. Thank you for that. That always is a way to give your presenter some final applause before they wrap up. Also, I just hope that you're in the habit that whenever you enjoy a presentation, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the archive, click that like button if you liked the webcast, because it does give a little pat on the back to the presenter for their efforts, but it also gives a boost to their webcast in the YouTube algorithm and helps them find a wider audience. So that's definitely appreciated. All right. Yeah, nice summer cottage, David. Yeah, that's not the one. Yep, but great place, Doune Castle in Scotland. Anyway, everybody, thanks for joining me today. Thanks, Scott, for helping out in chat. Thanks for filling out the survey. I'll look for you in a future webcast. I'll also look for you on X. But whenever I see you again, until that moment arrives, I want to wish you the very best of luck. Happy trading. Bye-bye.